Good morning. I look very atmospheric today, don't I? Very atmospheric. It always looks sort of very dark in here, and I think the problem with that is it's not a problem really. It's just that the window is there and the darkness is there, which is very good. Lights my face, radiance to behold. How are you doing? Are you all right? Good to be dropping in. It's just random, isn't it? When I do these now, got into such a good habit. But here we are. It's good, and there's something about doing things when you kind of do them, isn't there? Really, and not getting yourself too worked up when you don't, I suppose, is the secret there. So here we are, just having a chat, and do I really hate my smartphone? Is the title that I gave this, because I was writing. I published a Substack. I don't know what they called, article, blog, newslettery thing yesterday, and writing about mimetic desire and social media. So writing about a couple of things and kind of linking them together, just because the connections started to fall in place last week when I was reading some bits and pieces, and I'll share a link to the article if you want to go and have a read of it. It's only it's only a 3 or 4 minute thing to read, probably maybe 5 minutes, something like that. And sometimes some things fall into place and you start to think about something. And one of the things that I said at the start of the article was that I was the irony of this. I was scrolling mindlessly through some Instagram reels, thinking about inappropriate use of the mobile phone, and I came across Florence and the Machine. Well, Florence from Florence and the Machine on stage, having a bit of banter with the audience, and you knew she was going somewhere, because she was talking. I can't remember exactly what she was saying, but it was almost, you could feel she was building to something, and the crowd were enthusiastically greeting everything she said, and then she said, "I want you to be brave. I want you to be brave tonight. I want you to be brave, and I want you to put your phones away," because everybody was, one of my pet hates. Everybody watching the live performance through their mobile phone, recording the thing that they're never ever going to watch again, or hardly ever, because it'll sound crap. Probably talked about that before. She said, be brave, because what we're trying to do here is create an experience. And that took me back to a book that I read last year by a guy called Tiger Roholt. What a name. Brilliant name. Tiger C. Roholt, to be precise. And the book he wrote called Distracted from Meaning. And he says in that book that when it comes to mobile phone use in public situations, or when you're out for a meal with somebody, or when you're at the dinner table with your family or whatever, he says that the problem is that as soon as somebody kind of pulls out their mobile phone and starts looking at their mobile phone, they've disrupted the creation of an experience. So we're creating an experience when we get together with people, when we connect with people in various situations, either in mass crowds like the Florence and the Machine thing, or in intimate moments with a loved one or a family member or a friend or whatever. We're creating an experience. And what Tiger Roholt says, and it's a great book, it gets a bit heavy in places, but it's a great book. And what he's saying is that actually the mobile phone use takes us away from the experience. It disrupts the experience to such an extent that it's no longer, the experience is now ruined, it's over, the experience is not happening, because we've decided that the phone is more important, or what's going on the phone is more important than the intimate moment that we're engaged in. That's really interesting. And what he says in some of the research he uses is that when people are asked about that, they go, yeah, I hate it when somebody does that. Hate it. Absolutely hate it when I'm sat there with somebody, or I'm at a gig, or I'm doing this, whatever, and somebody gets their phone out and moves their attention at their phone and not on the moment we're trying to create here. I hate it when that happens. And he says in those studies where people report that, those people are then observed doing exactly that same thing, getting their phones out and experiencing their phone rather than the moment. And that's hugely problematic, isn't it? That's hugely problematic, because as we know, because I must have said it before, as we know, there are a couple of things that are really important for our well-being, and that's one of them's being on our own. And that means not with your phone. It means being on your own. And the other is being with other people. So those are two really important things there that we need to kind of think about. And then I find myself with my phone in my hand. There's more on all of that in the article, and I'll share a link. But if you're looking for you're looking for opinion piece, with peace spelled P-E-A-C-E. Have a look for that, and I'll share it as well. And then I got to thinking, well, do I really hate my mobile phone? Because it's in my hand a lot. It's right by my side here now. I do tend to put it out the way once I kind of start work. Do I really hate my mobile phone? And well, I don't. Of course I don't. It's one of the most useful tools that we've got at our disposal. It's brilliant. You can look things up. You can communicate with people. You can do all of those kind of things. But there's a problem with them, isn't there? And then I thought about Daniel Kahneman's System 102. If you've not read Daniel Kahneman's book, which is quite an old book now, I suppose, called Thinking Fast and Slow, you really need to. Daniel Kahneman, he died recently, actually. And Daniel Kahneman wrote this book called Thinking Fast and Slow, where he talks about System 1, System 2, which I'm sure I've mentioned before, our deliberate brain and our automatic brain. And I thought, there's the answer. When is mobile phone use appropriate? And when is mobile phone use just inappropriate or draining or pointless or worthless? And mobile phone use, when it's just automatic, that's when it's dangerous. That's when you find yourself having scrolled through random TikTok videos. I took that off my phone. Or I like Instagram, so I'll find myself scrolling through Instagram Reels, which is similar, I know. So you find yourself just scrolling and meaningless stuff. And the problem is you watch something meaningless because it sucks you in, then you get more of that stuff because the algorithm does its insidious kind of tempting of you by giving you the same stuff over and over again, as well, and so this is the mobile phone conundrum, isn't it? When it's that kind of stuff, when it's mindless scrolling, doom scrolling, that's the phrase, isn't it? When it's doom scrolling, and when it's distracting you from something else. I mean, I haven't done this for a long time, but a while back, I find myself watching something on telly. And what's interesting, actually, this is another thing that Tiger Rohal says in his book, because he talks a lot about use of mobile phones in classroom situations. And he says that they're not useful in classroom situations. We should avoid them, because the problem is, if you use the mobile phone for something that's on task, as in, well, let's use our mobile phones to do this, that, or the other, this little class exercise, or vote on this thing, because some really nice apps that let you do that. Let's vote on who thinks this is right or that's right. Left wing, right wing stuff, whatever you're doing, you know what I mean? Let's vote. Let's vote on this. What he says is that once the phone is in the person's hand, even for an on-topic task, a positive thing, they are very likely, highly likely to continue and think, oh, well, while I'm here, I'll get sucked into Facebook, I'll get sucked into WhatsApp, I'll get sucked into whatever, So it's hugely problematic. It's hugely problematic in that sense. So while we're doing that, that's when it's dangerous. It's dangerous when we're just doom scrolling. That's the dangerous thing. It's dangerous when we're like what got me to that was I'd find myself watching something on TV, and I think, oh, who's that actor? What's he been in? And I'd look at my phone, and I'd find that information out. That's maybe all right. I don't know. It was the deliberate act. And then I would think, oh, I'll just check this when I'm on, that when I'm on. And then suddenly I've lost the thread of the story, So there's something about how it disrupts our mechanism to stay focused and pay attention. So there's that. So when we're using our automatic brain, that's when our mobile phones are dangerous. When we're using our deliberate brain, and I've just started doing Duolingo, so I deliberately open my phone up to do that, and I do that, and that's great. I do Wordle on my phone, which is lovely because I share that with a friend of mine. You know, we share our little block thing every day, which is great. Means I connect with him on that. So there are lots of good experiences. The secret is there not to allow it to overwhelm you, overpower you, and then start to kind of do other stuff. Not difficult. So I think that's the solution I've come to. That was my thinking walking the dog this morning. That thinking about Daniel Kahneman's system 1 and 2. That if we're in system 1, mindlessly scrolling through the phone, automatic brain just that's dangerous. That's not good for us. But if we use this device for productive means, deliberate means, then it's good for us. And I don't know whether I'm pronouncing this author's name right. Anain, A-N-A-I-S, surname Nin, N-I-N. I read this, and this is what triggered writing that whole article. It's not the truth they wanted, but an illusion that they could bear to live with. It's not the truth they wanted, but an illusion they could bear to live with. And I think that's social media. We don't want the truth. We just want to create an illusion. But actually, that illusion that we create about ourselves is then observed by other people. And if they're not having a good time for it, how does that make them feel? But actually, they don't want the truth either. They want an illusion. So they create an illusion. We're all creating illusions. And don't get me wrong, I quite like social media in its place, but we've got to keep it in its place. Once you let it out the box and you let it dictate to you what you do, when you do it, and how you feel, then that's usually problematic, isn't it? There you go. That's what I've got for you today. So that's what I've been thinking about. Right, I'm going to crack on with work now. Things to do, as I'm sure you have. So we'll see you soon. Go and hook up to the normal things, the Patreon account, Stephen J. Mordew, and give me a like this channel. That really means a lot. Just clicking that button, subscribe to it, really means a lot. So do that. All right, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.